Our sign language interpreter, as we continue with this, is Lucy Maura. And let's get on to a conversation about cycling. And we're talking about gravel cycling, and the Loop series has come in there. And when you take a look at the races that have been organized, there is one in Nairobi that is going to take place on the 4th of February. That's this weekend. Then later on, they will be moving to on to Naivasha, a flagship event in the UCI Gravel calendar. And then after that, we shall be going to Vihiga and later to the coast in Vipingo. That's where the last of the event is going to take place. And to talk about that, and one competitor who's going to be taking part in the Loop Safari Gravel series is Dinnah Safari. Welcome.
Asante.
Sawa. Tutakubaliana lugha uko sawa Kiingereza uko sawa Kiswahili? Kiingereza. Now let us continue with this. And Dinnah, let's talk about, you getting into competitive cycling and what drew you to two wheels competitions.
Okay. I started cycling when I was young. My dad introduced me into cycling, but it was not my thing. But as days went by, I started liking it and developing passion in it. So I discovered and knew that it was my passion. So as time went by, I wanted to compete and push harder because I feel good while suffering on the two wheels.
They say no pain, no gain. Eh? You really believe in that mantra.
Yeah.
So everyone starts off cycling because it's something fun. But what drew you to competition? Getting now to ride hard and fast.
The urge of feeling the pain and the urge of winning races, competing with others, so you could see who can you defeat on this race. When you defeat someone, you get so excited. You want to go and for more and more and more, for more wins. Yeah.
Looking at the first, just take us back to the first competitive race you took part in before we even get to talking about gravel.
Yeah. My first competition was still at Tatu City when I was around 16 years old. Yeah. So I went and raced on cycling. The experience was not too good.
What was the surface?
It was on tarmac. It was a road race. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the experience on my side, it was not so good, but then I was like, I can do this again and try and see what I can do. I just wanted to see if I could do a bit better than the last time. And yes, I did, because I went back to my training. I kept on training hard, consistency, and going to my second race, everything was good and went well.
Okay. Yeah. Dinnah Safari is here with us, and she's talking about cycling. We're going to be talking about the Loop Safari Gravel series, and Dinnah Safari is one competitor. She's going to be taking part in that over the weekend and also in one UCI event later. Getting into those deep details, we shall be doing that after this short break. And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. My name is Wahome. We'll be talking about the Loop Amani Gravel series in a short while. And we are with Dinnah Safari, who got into cycling from the push of her father, got into her first competition, really did not enjoy it at Tatu City on the tarmac. But right now, let her talk about her growth and what it means to get into the Loop Amani Gravel cycling series. Dinnah, let's now talk about, your growth after that first race that you took part in Tatu City. What is it that made you change the way you approach cycling, your training regime and everything?
Okay, my training regime never changed. It's because the training you do applies to all the disciplines that you're taking in cycling. So I just kept on training and training. Consistency is the key. And now I decided to join gravel racing because I get more adventure on the off-roads compared to the road races. Yeah.
So, looking at road racing and the time that you've spent there, what are the opportunities for people who are there so that, to become even pro cyclists if possible? What are the opportunities on road racing before we get deep into this gravel series?
Okay, the opportunities on road racing, the opportunities are there, but the competition there is too tough. The competition there is very tough, but on the gravel racing and the off-road, it's okay. The competition is tough, but at least, okay, I don't know, compared to everyone has what they prefer. Some people prefer to do road racing because no matter how tough the competition is there, they believe that they can get the opportunity, but I see like the opportunities are way more on the off-road section and the gravel racing compared to the road races.
Well, and also for you, you say it's always a matter of adventure.
Yeah.
So getting into the gravel roads that are out there, how do you go around this? Preparing yourself mentally for all these conditions that are out there.
Gravel racing compared to the road ones, in gravel you're supposed to be mentally prepared because of the weather. It tempers with the terrains and the route. It's not only because of the training you do or the race course itself. The weather can really temper with everything. So if you're mentally prepared, okay, people usually go to race on the off-roads because you really want, okay, if it's raining, you really want to play with that mud because it's a childhood figure that maybe you never had it while you were young, so you just want to do it when you're older. Yeah.
Getting a bicycle ready for gravel racing, what kind of bicycle would you use? Are you going to modify your road racing bicycle, or are you going to use a mountain bicycle?
You're not really going to use a mountain bike on a gravel race, but you can if you feel like it's comfortable. But a gravel bike is a specific bike that is made for gravel. It somehow looks like a road bike. The wheels they're not too big like for the mountain bike, and they're not too tiny like for the road bike. They're just in the middle.
Then, what other difference is there between a road bike and a gravel bike?
A road bike.
In terms of the gears, the suspension, and the spokes around the wheels.
Okay, there is no difference. Let's say it's just the size. Well, the size of the wheels. Yeah, that is the only difference. Let me say.
So it's basically like the ones that we are seeing on the picture on our screens right now. That's how most of them would look like.
Yeah.
Although this is a mountain bike.
Yeah, this is a mountain bike, but a gravel bike, it's similar to a road bike. Yeah, but I would say there's no difference.
So let's now talk about the series that everyone's involved in, the Loop Amani series. First event this weekend. And the good thing about cycling, it's open to everyone.
Yeah.
What is it, first of all, to those who cycle for recreational purposes? What's a message you'd like to give them? So that they are encouraged to participate in this event. I know it's going to be a short one, about 20 kilometers or so.
Yeah, I will ask them to come and have fun and enjoy, because it's a one-time it's a one lifetime experience, because you'll find in most scenarios you can't really go in the bushes and cycle alone, because maybe you're scared or something. But in this time round, people are so many, so you'll have to enjoy with your families and friends. You have fun. Yeah, that's it.
So this is going to be taking place in Tatu City, and there is going to be, different events. And for somebody to do 20 kilometers, this is basically for, somebody who's starting off. How do they physically prepare for this, to ride on gravel for 20 Ks?
Physically preparation for 20 Ks while having fun, you don't really need to prepare. You can just... This
is basically a leisure cyclist, so...
You can just come and ride. No matter how slow you go, the aim is having fun here.
Let's also talk about now the other events, and this is for cycling enthusiasts. These are people who are used to cycling. We're talking about 60 kilometers. It's a huge adventure if you're to talk about this, all happening at that. And you've got to do one loop of 20 kilometers and a lap of 40 kilometers. Just explain how that works. A lap of 20 kilometers and a lap of 40.
A lap of 20 kilometers, it's just a single loop where it's 20 kilometers, and a lap of 40 kilometers, you have to do the loop twice. So it covers 40 kms. Yes, so for the ones doing 60 kms, you should get on your bikes, train, because it's really not going to be easy. But all in all, the aim here is to have fun. Never forget to have fun, because if you decide to just race and your focus is on the race, maybe you're targeting the first position, and then you don't end up getting the first position, you'll be really feeling so bad. But if you just come with the aim of having fun, everything will go well. But all in all, remember to train. Just wake up every morning, get on your bike, spin a little bit for like 20 kilometers or 40, and you'll be able to finish the 60-kilometer race.
Now, the professional cyclists, this is where you fall.
Yeah.
120 kilometers.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine what 120 kilometers is. Okay, so it's basically Nairobi, Thika, Nairobi, and back to Thika, something roughly that.
Yeah.
One lap of 20 kilometers, one lap of 40 kilometers, and one lap of 60 kilometers. And as per the race regulations, all of them will be properly marked on the route.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell how tough this one can be, 120 Ks. Because you're riding for, 2 hours and something, close to 3.
At first, because it's 120 kilometers on the off-road, while racing on off-road, it's usually a bit harder than on the road race. Yeah. So while you're racing on the off-roads, it will surely take you so much time to finish the 120 kilometers. But then you have to, for you to be able to race the 120 kilometers and you finish, you must have trained like brutal training. For you to have fitness, you should check on your nutrition, because it really matters a lot. On your nutrition while training and while racing too, you should be, you ride and then you keep on feeding, because if you don't feed, you won't finish that race for sure.
Something that comes up, and I know this is a conversation that many would like to have. On race day, I know people love taking heavy breakfasts. What's the risk of that?
Okay, it's not really bad for you to take a heavy breakfast, but it's really risky if you take it some few minutes before the race, because it won't really digest to your system. But if you take the heavy breakfast 30 minutes or more before the race starts, you're totally okay and very fine for the start, for the race.
Hydration?
The hydration there really matters a lot, because if you don't hydrate well, you're sweating. So that sweat really needs to be replaced. And if you drink pure water, you are diluting your system. So at least you should have water and some electrolytes, or you add some salt into your water. So because you're sweating out, you really need to replace what you're sweating for you to finish the 120 kilometers.
Because that's why you'll find that you've got some white thing here. Yeah. That is basically salt.
Yeah, so,
saline stuff.
Yeah, and for the 120 kilometers, you'll get people not only having salt at the back of the ear, but on the whole body.
And how do you have, for example, a bottle of water that may hold probably a liter or three-quarters of a liter of water? Do you have support teams that keep supplying you with this?
Yeah. Okay. It's not really you don't really need support teams to keep on supplying you with this, because on the race we'll be having checkpoints where you get to have water and fruits, maybe watermelons, bananas, oranges. You might stop there. Okay, you will have to stop and refill yourself, then you continue.
After how many kilometers are these checkpoints?
Some of us 30 or 50. It differs. It depends with how the race organizations have planned.
Now, one of the races that you're going to have, and this is at Hell's Gate, falls under the global governing body, that's the UCI calendar, and it brings in the points.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities for pro cyclists that come with this gravel series, and opportunities for you to go race elsewhere?
Okay, first the UCI races have been brought to here in Kenya to us, so it's much more easier for us to get the opportunity, because if you go and race at the Hell's Gate Naivasha race, and then you manage to perform, you'll surely be noticed out there, because it's one of the biggest events in cycling. Yeah.
Preparing for that, and because I know there are some people from outside the country who may want to come in and compete. We know Eritrea has got a great cycling culture. Rwanda is picking up on that. What's the competition like?
So the competition is very high, and on the loop gravel, on the 2024 Loop Safari Gravel Series, we're expecting a lot of people from worldwide to come and give us the challenge, because we've always wanted to get that competition for us, but we never got the chance to, because you find that the races are only outside Kenya. You don't have the support system, so you kind of miss that, and it's really not good for sure. But when it's here, it's like this time around, it's been brought to us, so people are out there training to give their all best on that race, so they can get the opportunities out there.
Racing outside the country, what is required such that you're going to compete, not just participate?
It's not only about participating out there. At first, you'll need the common things like the visa to travel, the accommodation when you get there, food. But also when you get there, before you get to the start line, you have to be a UCI registered member for you to be eligible to race on that race. So if you don't have someone to guide you through the steps of registration, it becomes so hard.
Guide me through the registration for UCI right now, because you're a UCI, right?
I've been registered by my team, the Black Mamba Development, under the team Amani. So for us, the riders, for as long as we are under an organization, we're okay.
What are some of the things that you must have achieved? For example, because I know, for example, for you to play tennis at the highest level, you must meet a certain criteria, or you qualify. For you to play golf at a professional level, you must unprofessional perform at a certain level to get an invitation to a tournament.
So here in Kenya, or like locally, you're supposed to be like the top performer from your country. Then we check out the neighboring countries like East Africa. They come and check where are you falling, and what position are you falling under in the East African cycling. Then they come in Africa, so that is what makes you qualify to race out there.
Getting those rankings and now being qualified to race out there, what's the feeling for you? What's your outlook for the future?
For the future, I wanted to be a gravel champion. So I'm really doing my best like right now because we have the opportunity within us. And I'm 100% sure that I'll do it. I'll make it.
You'll make it?
Yeah.
Sure enough, and thank you very much. Dinnah Safari, we wish you all the best.
Okay.
Saturday, where do you want to be when it comes to the podium? On which step?
I'm 100% sure that I'll be the first. Yeah, because according to my training, the way I feel, I'm okay and I can take the first position.
Tatu City on Saturday it is. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah, they're welcomed.
Riding on gravel, there are those who may fear, but remember that what you need to do, carry your helmet, carry your bicycle. If you're just a leisure cycler, 20 kilometers. If you're an enthusiast, 60 kilometers. If you're a pro, 120 kilometers. Thank you very much, Dinnah Safari. Speaking about the Loop Amani Gravel Cycling Series, and in June, it will be part of we'll have the UCI event, which is going to take place in Hell's Gate. Thank you very much.